everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda and in today's video we are doing some St. Patrick's Day nail art. Seeing as it is St. Patrick's Day next Friday, I thought it would be fun to do this on this week's video. So starting off, I'm going to show you the colours that we're going to be using because we are using a couple of different ones. So we've got Ivy Forest for our green, Coconut for our white, Orange Soda for the orange. The base for these nails are all going to be in Ballet Charm, which is such a pretty shade. And then I do want some sparkles, so I've gone for Amber Flame as well as Drama Green. And then because we're going to be doing some marbling, I have also got the blooming gel. This is brilliant for any kind of marble nail art. And then I do want to come in and add in some of the 24K Flake Top Coat. And then to finish off the full top coating, I'm going to be using the No Wipe Rubber Top Coat because no matter what kind of nail art I do, I absolutely love to seal it in with the No Wipe Rubber Top Coat. So we are going to be doing this design as 5 individual nails. It's not necessarily a design that you might wear all together because it is quite over the top, but I really loved how they turned out, and these are my favorite kind of designs to do. So as I said, the base of 4 of these nails is going to be Ballet Charm. So I'm just coming here and doing the second coat of this shade. We're curing each coat for 30 seconds. Now on the first nail that we're going to be doing a marble. So once you've cured your second coat of gel polish, you're going to come in and apply your blooming gel. So what you want to do with your blooming gel is apply a thin coat of it to all of the nail. You really don't need to apply this too thickly. Applying it nice and thin will still allow you to get a nice bloomed effect without giving you a too bulky nail. So once you have applied this, you want to leave it wet, and then we're going to be doing a marble. So I'm going to pop down the colours that I'm including in my marble onto my palette. So I'm going to come in and apply all of the shades next to each other. You want to make sure they are touching so that when you marble them together, there's no gaps between the colours. Now, one of the amazing things about marbles is no matter what colours you do or the way that you do it, it always seems to come out looking beautiful. So with this particular design, you don't necessarily have to follow the colours that I've used for St. Patrick's Day. You could stick with St. Patrick's Day theme, but choose different greens and oranges. But all the designs in this set would work really well with any colour that you choose to use. So you could swap out the St. Patrick's Day colours and swap in some neons, or you could do it in pastels. It's one of those designs that I think works brilliantly with any kind of nail art that you're doing. Marbles always look amazing in my opinion. So now that we've marbled those colours together, what I'm going to do is take my round nail art brush and start picking them up from the palette and laying them down into that wet blooming gel. Now originally the reason why I popped the Ballet Charm base down under this nail is because I wasn't going to do a full marble nail. I was going to have it so you had some of the Ballet Charm showing through, but as we were laying down that marble, I was really liking how it was looking, so I decided to go for a full marble nail instead. So if you was recreating a full marble nail, you would probably only need to put one base color down underneath, and I usually would choose one that's from the marble, but I just wasn't 100% sure with my plan. So this is what our marble looks like so far, and because we've laid those colors down into the blooming gel, it just will help start allowing those colors to marble and merge together. Now I do want to add in some of the 24K flakes into this design. Now this is a top coat, but I do love using this for nail art as well. So any designs where you would add in glitter flakes or gold leaf, instead of using those, you can use this top coat and it actually works a little bit easier. So as you can see, I've popped some down on my palette. And then using my striped liner brush, I'm just picking them up and placing them down into that wet marble gel polish. So I've not actually cured anything yet. And the reason why I'm placing them down into that wet marble gel polish is because I want them to look as though they're part of the marble rather than sitting on the surface of it. I just really like the effect that that gives out. Then we're going to pop these in to cure for 30 seconds and we're ready to come in and top coat. So the no wipe top coat is amazing over any kind of nail art because if you have got an uneven surface, which you sometimes will when you've done things like marbles or added in glitter, the no wipe top top coat is thick enough that it smooths everything out without leaving you with a bulky nail. So as you can see, I've popped a layer of it on there. I've kept it fairly thin, and then I've given it a few seconds to self-level, and then once it's popped in to cure, this is the finished result. Now I have to say, this was one of my favorite nails out of the 5 we're going to do. I just love how the colors worked for this marble. On to the second nail. As you can see, I've already done my 2 coats of Ballet Charm, so we're going to move straight on to our nail art. So for this design, I'm going to place down Ivy Forest, Coconut and Orange Soda onto my palette, and we're going to do kind of like swirls across the nail. I was going to do an Irish flag nail, but I kind of wanted to keep everything a little bit more, not sort of in your face St. Patrick's Day. I wanted it to kind of be a nail art design, like I said, that you could replicate in different colors. So you could definitely do this same design with pastels if you didn't want to go for a St. Patrick's Day vibe. So as you can see, I've come across, first of all, using my stripe liner brush to get a nice swirl across the nail with the Ivy Forest. Then I flash cured that for 10 seconds just to freeze it all in place. And then I'm going to come in with the coconut and just follow that line of the first swirl. So I want to get up as close to that Ivy Forest as possible, so there's no gap between the 2 colors, but I'm just following the swirl that we've created on that first one. Then we're going to flash cure that and do exactly the same with the Orange Soda. Now, swirl nail art designs, I feel, are very easy and very beginner friendly because you haven't got to worry about creating crisp straight lines. My one tip was, do make sure that you have loaded up your strap liner brush with a generous amount of product, but really worked it through the bristles, because then it will flow nicely across the nail. Now that I've done all 3 colors, I'm going to pop that in for a full 30-second cure, and then I want to apply the gold flake top coat to the sections of the nail where we've got that Ballet Charm. So I'm coming first of all in with my bottle brush and applying a layer of it down, but then I'm taking my round nail art brush and just moving those pieces around so that I can get them placed nicely on the nail without covering up the swirl pattern that we've done in the center of the nail. Then we're going to do exactly the same down at the tip of the nail, and this is why I love these, because they're so much easier to apply than saying having to mix a raw glitter in with a top coat and then applying it that way. Then once we're happy with this, I'm going to pop this in to cure for 30 seconds. And then although the gold flakes are a top coat, we do still need to top coat in the swirls in the center. So I'm just going to come in and do a full layer of the no wipe rubber top coat, because this is going to give us a nice even surface again, like I said before. The rubber top coat is brilliant as well for clients who have got weak or brittle nails, because it does add an extra layer of strength in for those types of nails as well. It's one of my go-to top coats. If you watch this channel, you'll know that I do use it quite a lot. On to the next nail. Again, we've got our Ballet Charm base down, and on this now we're going to come in with some of the gold line art stickers. So these are brilliant compared to the regular striping tape. You know, that classic striping tape that's on a roll that's an absolute nightmare to use? These are a brilliant alternative to that. You've got a selection of sizes on there, and they do come in 6 different shades as well. So here I've cut out a section of the gold. I went for one of the thicker lines because I want to come over the top of this gold line with crystals, so I still want it to be quite predominant on the nail. Then as you can see, I've placed that down the center of the nail just using some tweezers, and then we're just going to snip off the ends on both the top and the bottom. I always like to apply it slightly longer than what's needed, just because that way I find it a lot easier to get it in place. And then you can buff off the edges if you weren't able to cut it as close to the nail as what was needed. And then I always like to come over with my silicone tool to give it a good rub to make sure it's made a good contact with the nail. Then I'm going to take my no wipe rubber top coat and apply a thin coat of this to all of the nail. But before popping this in to cure, we're going to come in and place our crystals down into that wet rubber top coat. So here I have the beautiful emerald crystals. These are perfect for St. Patrick's Day nail art, but again, if you were wanting to do this design, I think this design would work really pretty with any of the 3 pink crystals that are available from Kiki London as well. I'm definitely wanting to play around with some of these nail art designs and swapping them up for pastel and summer colours, because I am really loving those colours at the moment. But of course, we had to get a St. Patrick's Day design up on the channel. So let's talk applying the crystals. I'm taking my Kiki London Dotting and Gem Tool. It has a waxy end on one end, which you will pick up your crystals with. And then I like to use the dotting tool end to nudge them in place. So I've mixed my crystals together. When you do purchase these from Kiki London, the sizes are separated, but I just prefer having them in the pots. So what I've done is I've chosen a more medium to large size crystal, popped that down in the center, and then I'm popping 2 of the gold caviar beads in between each crystal just to give off a bit more of a jeweled effect. And then I've just gone smaller sizes out from that center crystal, which I think is such an easy crystal placement to do, whether you're doing it in the center of the nail like I am on this one, or around the cuticle area, or say a crystal swoosh across the nail. I always find it easier to just pop the largest size crystal that you want to use down in the center, and then just come out from each size with your crystals getting smaller as you go. And I think it just gives off a really nice vibe and looks quite appealing to the eye. Once you have moved your crystals around and you are happy with how they are placed, you can pop them in to cure for 60 seconds, and then you don't need to re-top coat that nail because you have already top coated it with the no wipe rubber top coat. On to the 4th design, I have already got Ivy Forest, Coconut and Orange Soda down on my palette, but I want to add in a little bit more of that amber flame into this design. So I've popped some of that on my palette, and then I'm going to take my dotting tool and pop down a pattern of dots. So I've gone green, white, orange for the for the Irish flag, and then I've just added in some of the amber flame as well. And I'm just going to do this. Just dot these on in a swoosh across the bottom part of the nail, sticking with that same pattern as we go. I do come in and add a little bit more a little bit more of the amber flame on the edges, just so you will see a little bit of that glitter. And then I'm going to swap to my strap liner brush and simply drag through all of those 4 colours. And as you can see, it gives off a little bit of a tie-dye effect, but I really love it, and it's super simple to do. So I'm going to do the same again up in the top part of the nail, just because obviously this is quite a long nail and we want to fill in the design a little bit, or the area a little bit. What I love about this particular design is it works really brilliantly on short nails as well. You can do cuticle cuffs like this. You could go around the entire edge of the nail like a frame, or if you want to keep it simple, you could just dot all the way down the center of the nail and then drag your stripe liner brush down that middle, and you would have the same effect but down the middle of the nail, which is a little bit easier to do. So once we've cured the nail art, once again, we're going to come in and top coat. The rubber top coat does require a 60-second cure. You will find a lot of the Kiki London products do only require a 30-second cure, but the rubber top coat does require a 60-second cure. So just bear that in mind if you are using it. Now on to the last nail. Rather than having a Ballet Charm for our base colour, we've got the beautiful Ivy Forest, because I did want this green to show through a little bit more predominant in the design. So I'm going to pop a thin coat of this down. And then when I say thin, when you are working with your darker or more pigmented shades, especially colours like black heart, do make sure you're applying them in nice thin coats. Otherwise, you may have issues when it comes to curing. So once I have cured the Ivy Forest, you see there that I took a alcohol wipe and wiped off the tacky inhibition layer. And this is because I want to come in and apply a little bit of my blooming gel to do this glitter fade. And with more pigmented colours like Ivy Forest and Black Heart, you will find that sometimes the inhibition layer can transfer into things like a blooming gel, because the blooming gel is kind of designed to grab on to other products. So sometimes the inhibition layer the color can contaminate your blooming gel. So if I know I'm coming in over a darker shade with my blooming gel, I like to just remove that tacky inhibition layer first. So then, as you see, we placed Drama Green halfway down the nail and then the blooming gel. This is my favorite way to do any kind of glitter fade, because applying the blooming gel gives your glitter something to fade into, and I find that it fades in or fades out a lot nicer. And then whilst that's still wet, I've popped some of that 24K Flake Top Coat down onto my palette, and sticking with that same ombre brush, I'm just dropping some of those gold flakes into the area where we have got the drama green, because I really love how the gold and the green work together. And again, like on the marble now, I wanted those gold flakes to sink into the gel polish a little bit rather than look as though they're on the surface. So that's why I'm applying them whilst the glitter is still wet. Obviously, how you apply them depends on the design that you are going for, but I'm just going to fade these down into the very tip of the nail as well, and then we're going to pop that in to cure for 30 seconds, and once again we are ready to top coat. So these were 5 really beginner friendly designs, and like I said, you can mix these up and these will work with whatever colors you choose to do, but I really loved doing a St. Patrick's Day theme. So let me know in the comments below which design was your favorite, and are you doing any St. Patrick's Day nail art? So once we had cured that one, this is the 5 nails together. I really loved this set of nails, so I hope you all enjoyed watching. As always, all of the products I've used are listed in the description box below. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.